What's up, guys? Dr. Mo here, Digital Nomad Physician at digitalnomadphysician.com. Welcome to Sasso Marconi. This is the beautiful Airbnb apartment that we rented for a month. Sasso Marconi is a little city about 20 minutes south, if you drive, about maybe 45 minutes by train south of Bologna. So far, our time in Italy has been incredible. I mean, we've been all over the place. We started out here in Sasso Marconi, and then we took a trip down to Ostuni, which is all the way south. And then we just spent nearly a week in Napoli, in Naples, which is right now one of my favorite cities. One of my favorite cities, guys. Like, I love Madrid, but Naples is just crazy. It's just a very interesting experience. It was a very interesting experience. Of course, I told my girlfriend, like, hey, let's just live there. Let's just move there. And she wasn't having it, but hey, maybe I'll convince her next time. And so then we came back here, and we're going to spend a few days in this apartment, and then we're actually going to move to Bologna for a month or so before going back to the US. So with that out of the way, this is Dr. Mohammed Ashori. I'm a family medicine physician. I'm a Kaiser baby. I worked at Kaiser, urgent care, family medicine. Welcome to those of you who are new. This is called Digital Nomad Physicians, especially because we like to be digital nomads. We don't want to be locked into one space. I have some beef with the idea that I, as a physician, can't practice in other locations, even though I'm perfectly capable and even though people need it. I mean, health access is probably one of the most important things that we offer human beings these days. And yet, for some reason, it's become a luxury. It's become a luxury good, and I'm not okay with that. I do think we're doing a lot of good in healthcare, but I guess for me, it's important that I do what I need to do to really enjoy medicine. So, a few years ago, I created, it's pretty dirty. I created an online course called Doc Digital, and it was supposed to be an 8-week course that physicians take to start their own medical practice, specifically a virtual medical practice. I do think the course still is quite applicable to physicians who want to have an in-person practice, especially if it's a micro practice. But the anatomy of a virtual practice is very different. It's very different. You have to put yourself out there online and hope that people find you, they gravitate towards you, they want to work with you. And that's not easy to do, right? Because your voice tends to get diluted. There's so many other people out there who want to grab a patient's attention. But you as a physician are unique, whether you're a nurse practitioner, physician, or some other healthcare professional who has worked with patients directly and is capable of starting your own medical practice. It's unique in that you can offer a medical insight from a clinical perspective that's vetted, as opposed to a health coach or somebody else who's not even a health expert or like a medical expert, clinical expert. But how you deliver that is really important because it's going to get lost on a lot of people. I've constantly tried to improve the way I come across online on both of my platforms. Remember, I have the Dr. Mo platform, I have the Dr. Ashori platform. The Dr. Ashori is my virtual medical practice. It's turned a little bit more into health coaching. In fact, I just did a rebrand of it. Before it was heart health coach, before that it was medical health coach, before that it was just like a DPC kind of a practice. And though I like to keep the clinical part of like the DPC practice, I'm really trying to do more of the health coaching because I believe in it, because I think people are looking for it. And the way I sort of display my message, the way I do things, the way I say things will attract a certain type of individual. Now, recently I hired Rabia Khan, which I've talked about on this channel before, and she did a whole rebrand for me. And I hired a website designer, Jeremy, and a social media manager, Dea, and everybody together has helped me kind of redesign things for the Dr. Ashori thing. Now, I'm doing some work here with Digital Nomad Physician as well. But I'm saying all this because I want to kind of go back to the basics of building your own online medical practice and kind of understanding, maybe zooming out a little bit of what it takes to achieve that. So in the course, the online course, which I'll link below if you're interested, it's about $500 right now, which I think is a great price because there's a shit ton of content in there. I've outlined the most important aspects, which to me is understanding the business model and having a good, safe legal structure. It's about the patient journey. And this piece is critical because who are you going after and what is that person going to experience? What is it they're going to get in the end, right? With Netflix, we know what we're going to get. What are they going to get with a different subscription model? What are they going to get? They know what they're going to get if they go to an insurance-based medical practice online. The next one is website. So specifically how the website has to be structured and what it actually is serving you and what it's not doing for you. And then the last three are software, the marketing, and the competition. Software is easy because we need some way of communicating with patients securely. Marketing is huge. It's probably the elephant in the room, the biggest piece that you have to master. And the last piece is competition. Competition is really important because if you ignore who else is out there doing what, you'll forget. You kind of lose track of everything. You just get lost. Okay, so starting from the very first one, the business model, there's two things, right? One of them is your business structure. Are you a sole proprietor, an LLC, an S Corp? Those are really easy questions to answer. A lot of physicians ask me that question. If you can't answer that question, I think you're getting stuck on something really like minutia and you're losing the big picture. The other thing is like, what is your business model in the sense of like, what is it you're actually offering? So here, Digital Nomad Physician, which by the way is no different than any kind of medical practice, I'm offering you guys free information and I'm selling you an online course and I'm selling you one-on-one coaching, right? So by offering you all this free information, the things I've done, the things I've investigated, researched, learned, and sharing it with you, hopefully I'm sparking some sort of creativity and making you interested in being like, oh, maybe I should take this course. Oh, he's got 100% money back guarantee. What's the big deal? I'll just get my money back if I don't like it. Oh, the coaching thing. Actually, I do have some questions that I want to ask him and there's no other way to reach Dr. Mo, so maybe the coaching thing is good. But by me interacting with you multiple times on these videos and podcasts and my website, it's likely that eventually you're going to say, I remember that Dr. Mo fella, I got to go talk to him. So the business model is giving a lot of free stuff away, hoping that I'm offering you enough value that you think, oh, there's probably more value to be had, and I'm going to make a purchase. In drashori.com, my actual medical practice, my online medical practice, it's the same thing. I'm going to give a bunch of free information away in a very specific tone, in a very specific manner, on a very specific timeline, hoping that I attract a very specific type of individual who's going to say, I wouldn't mind working with this guy. He seems to know what he's talking about. He does talk about heart disease and dementia and exercise and nutrition in the way I think about it. And so the business model for me is giving free information, hoping that free information will convert into somebody wanting to buy a one-on-one coaching session with me and maybe purchase an ebook, maybe purchase one of my online courses for those patients. So that's the business model. For some of you, it's different because you might be doing like one-on-one. You just want to see patients, boom, 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 boom. You just want to convert people and give them, tirzepatide, you want to give them Terzi, you want to give them hair loss medications, you want to improve their acne, you want to help their kid with ADHD. That's your business model. That's the product you're getting. And if you're offering that product, the patient has to know what they're getting. That's the key. And that's most of the content that I create. If I create content, it's so that the person understands what is it they're going to get. And if you don't have that clear in your head, then you can't really properly design a good business model, which goes to number 3, which we'll get to, which is the patient journey. If you don't understand what you're offering, you cannot design the patient journey. But number 2 is the legal side. Now look, we're physicians, we're doctors, we are in one of the most regulated fields in the world. And it should be that way, right? Healthcare should really be regulated. Now, I'm not saying it should be regulated in the way that is profiting the big dogs, but it should be regulated. I should be regulated. What I say, what I claim, what I do, what I prescribe should be regulated. For that reason, I need to make sure that the base, the floor of my practice is safe and secure. So I have a private physician group on WhatsApp, and we recently invited an attorney to come on there and give us her spiel about an arbitration agreement that she's designed off of Kaiser's arbitration agreement, which is amazing because that is one of the foundations of your practice, is to legally be protected. But of course, some sort of a legal document is never going to protect you. The thing that's really going to protect you is having a really good, healthy, open, positive, accepting, loving relationship with the patients that you see. If you have a good relationship with them, should the proverbial shit hit the fan, you have something to fall back on. You fall back on your communication, right? Something goes really wrong and you say, Ms. Smith, I'm really sorry. I don't know how this happened. I'm so sorry. I think I dropped the ball. I should have seen that coming. I should have done this. I should have done that. And then the chance of the patient wanting to sue you is incredibly low. So that's how you mitigate risk. But you also mitigate risk by keeping the patient informed. Throughout the entire journey, the patient should know what is it they're getting, what are they going through, right? If somebody comes to Dr. Ashori, they're 45 years old, and they're all about like, you know, I'm an informed health consumer. I don't want to do any blood testing. I don't want to do anything. God forbid that person decides to not do a colonoscopy or a mammogram. Now, I have my own very, very personal opinions on mammography, colonoscopy, and that sort of stuff. But if the patient decides not to do that, there's a huge risk. There's a massive risk to me. But if the patient knows that they don't have to do that, or why they're not doing it, and you know what are the risks, and you know what alternatives are there, all of a sudden that person's very we'll say empowered and educated. So should something bad happen, they'll say, well, no, I saw that coming and I had discussed it with Dr. Ashori. So that's kind of the legal structure, the way I look at it. And in every communication, in every advertisement you run, in any blog post you write, there has to be some thought about the pitfalls of the legal thing. And the legal thing is not just a malpractice suit, by the way. It's a medical board investigation, it's Medicare fraud, it's insurance fraud, it's all sorts of stuff, right? So that's what we discuss in the second week of the course. The third one, like I said, is the patient journey. And to me, the patient journey is, what is it from the first touch point with me that this person is going to go through, and what is it they're going to get in the end? Will they know clearly what they ended up with? This is very tough to figure out, and I'm definitely still figuring it out. To me, most of the time, the person's simply getting free access to me on social media, which then feeds free information for more content that I can create to sell essentially advertisement. Not real advertisement, but kind of social media marketing. Because I create content from them, I interact with them, and then somebody else comes along and says, oh, this is really cool. I like Dr. Ashori. I'm going to book a one-on-one session with Dr. Ashori. The patient's journey is going through every one of these individual steps until they book. Then the journey has to be very fixed. They book a call. They get on my schedule. I reach out to them before they reach out to me, right? Before even our appointment, I give them a bunch of information. Then we have our session. Then I give them a digital product, let's call it, of a summary of everything that we talked about. Then we create an action plan. Then I follow up with them, right? So that is the entire patient journey until they actually recommend me to their friend, until they leave me an awesome review, until they feel better, healthier, and send me a message, say, Dr. Ashori, you changed my life, or whatever, something along those lines. So you got to map that out. You got to map out the patient journey. You got to know where the pitfalls are, where they're going to fall through the cracks. They're going to pay the money and forget about you. They're going to pay for the course and forget about you. What, 13% completion rate of any course, online course, right? So I don't want that. I don't want a 13% completion rate. It's like, I'll give you your money back, dude. I don't want your negative review later on. Fourth one is website. The next few are going to be brief. Don't worry. The website it's just a landing page for you guys. Listen, your website is never going to rank highest. It's never going to beat Healthline. It's never going to beat WebMD. It's never going to beat the CDC. Your website is not going to be the source of your marketing. Back in the day, it actually could do that, but now, no, it's impossible. Those companies pay $1 million a month to rank high, and literally that's their marketing budget. You're never going to rank that high. But if your website is really professional, really predictable, really simple, really clean, then it's going to send a good message that when they click on your name and then on your link, They're like, oh, it's a really cool website. Look at Dr. Ashori. He's so professional, it's so simple. Like, I know where to book a session, I know where to buy the course, and I know where my patient login is. This is really great. So that's really what the website needs to be. The software is really the communication part. Now, there's a lot of debate there. Are you allowed to talk to a patient on WhatsApp? Well, yes, if they agree to it. And we talk about that in week 2, which is kind of the legal section. We also talk about it again in the software section. But, there are really good softwares out there like Spruce. I always talk about Spruce because I use Spruce with my patients. It's just simple. They text you, you text them, they leave a voicemail, you leave a voicemail. And it just protects you as far as kind of HIPAA compliancy. The biggest one is marketing, right? So marketing, this is me marketing to you right now. Me creating this YouTube video the whole time that I'm spending here. Like right now, it's about almost 2 o'clock here in Spain, in Italy. And I'm about to go to the rock climbing gym. And I'm like, no, I really want to record this video because I think it's good content. And I think it's going to help me think through what else I want to offer on the Digital Nomad Physician brand. And I think it's going to create conversion. Someone is going to watch this video and say, I got to take that course. Like, I want to start a practice, I got to take that course. I got to book a 1-hour session with Dr. Mo. So this is marketing, but marketing is also replying on somebody else's content, leaving a comment. It's me also taking a blog post or this YouTube video and linking it on my LinkedIn. It's also telling my friends about it. It's also sharing it on my WhatsApp group. It's everything. Marketing is getting the word out there. And marketing, at least the strategy of marketing that I use, is leading with a lot of free information, giving as much of the information away for free so that somebody can say, it sounds like you know more, and it sounds like I would benefit from more information. So I want to buy something from you. I want to pay you. Right now, I charge $500 for the online course. That's an insane amount of money when you think about it. Now, the people who are buying it, you guys are physicians. But so think about that on your health coaching brand. Think about that on your online medical practice brand. My coaching right now is $200 for 30 minutes. That's $400 an hour. And come January, it's going to go to $250. It's going to go $500 an hour. And it's quite a lot less actually on my medical practice. But it's supposed to be lower on my medical practice. And there's many reasons for that. You're going to have to figure out your price. And that's also part of the marketing. Marketing can be done on your website with the Substack newsletter that you write, on the blog post that you write, on LinkedIn. It could be on Instagram, it could be on Facebook, but it has to be a strategy. What you say, how you portray stuff, the colors you use, the type, the fonts, the copywriting, all of that has to be a little bit intentional. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're not Apple here, we're not Adidas, but it does have to be intentional because it does add to the conversion rate. Conversion is when somebody looks at your content and says, I'm going to buy that. And the last one on my list is competition. Guys, if you don't know where to start with your competition. Look at Dr. Mark, what is the other guy? Is it Dr. Mark? Dr. Hyman, and then Dr. Mark, I think is the other guy. Glucose Goddess. Look at Dr. Peter Attia. All these longevity gurus, Dr. Sinclair, all these guys. Just look at what it is that they're creating. What is it that they're doing? And start by imitating the concepts. Now, you have to design your own very specific, individual, unique thing. But if you just start by imitating what they're doing, chances are it's going to take off. Now, be careful because somebody who's already very, very well established, they have to do things a little bit differently, right? What it takes to go from nobody to somebody, and then from somebody to, whoa, this dude's someone, those are different things. Those are different actions. So start looking at some of their older stuff, start looking at how they used to interact with people, and that's going to give you a pretty good sense. So if you're interested, go to digitalnomadphysician.com/course. That's the Doc Digital online course. If you want to do a one-on-one session with me, go to digitalnomadphysician/consult. All right, guys, take care.